Happy Monday. I thought I would talk about the book that I'm currently reading, as well as mention the books that I received for Christmas and the books that I picked up at a church book sale. Right now I am currently reading The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I'm about halfway there, almost halfway. This book, for those that don't know, is a dystopian novel in which women are no longer seen as full beings. They are more or less seen as tools that will help to increase a society's population. I think more or less that's how women are also seen in this day and age, but this book definitely takes it to the extreme. This follows one woman in particular, and we are getting to see the contrast between what her life is like now and also what it was like before this new society began, as well as the transition period between what life used to be like and what life is like right now. It's really good, very eerie as well. I am enjoying this. I will say it's taking me a little bit of time to get through it, not because of the book, but just because I've been picking it up and then putting it down, and I haven't been really consistent with my reading, but I'm hoping that I can read some more of it today and finish it by the end of the week so I can see how this story ends up. It's because it's really good and creepy. And I will say the really nice thing is that as soon as I take the time to sit down and read, it's really easy to get sucked right back in, which is good for me at the moment. Now I'm going to briefly touch on the books I received for Christmas. The first book that I'm going to mention is Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. This book was a gift from my really good friend Margarita, and I don't know too much about this except that the book takes place in an alternate history where the South won the Civil War, and it's going from there. We're following a main character who is a black girl. I am very pumped for this, and I was really excited when I saw the first line. It says, "The day I came squealing and squalling into the world was the first time someone tried to kill me." I mean, what? Like, already? I feel like once I get into this, it is definitely going to be quite the ride. The next book that I have to talk about is An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. I remember seeing this book a while ago, and I didn't know too much about it, but I was very attracted to the cover. From what I know, this book takes place in space, I believe, and not just space, but I think it's on a spaceship. And so there are these different decks, and depending on your status, you live on these different decks of the ship. And I believe that the main character lives on the lives in the lower decks, and that has to do with the color of the person's skin, and I think also how they identify themselves as well, if that makes sense. I'm really excited to get into this because I believe that there are going to be themes surrounding colorism and race, and then also themes surrounding people's gender identities. And additionally, this main character, I believe, is neurodiverse, so I think that the main character is on the spectrum, so I'm really interested in picking this up. This is definitely one that I'm going to be reading for the Blackathon, and I'm excited that I have this in my collection. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Assata, which is an autobiography. This is the autobiography of Assata Shakur, and she, amazing activist, Black Panther, was wrongfully accused and has sought asylum in Cuba. And this book is just talking all about her life from her eyes. I just want to learn a lot more about different activists, different figures, and this is definitely going to help me to reach that goal. The last book that I received for Christmas is Bridge of Clay by Marcus Zusak. Wow. I don't know too much about this book. I do know that I really enjoy his writing style. I loved The Book Thief, and I really enjoyed I Am the Messenger too, so I just know that this is going to be a great read. I can feel it. I can feel it. Next, I want to discuss the books that I picked up at a church book sale. My friend Margarita, the same one that got me the book, informed me that her church was having a book sale, and so you just go in there and you can get books there for really cheap. I really tried to only buy books that I had already read before, but I had to make an exception. The first book that I was able to pick up is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This was probably, was it $1, $2? I don't know, but great condition. I read this book, I think I read it 2 years ago, and ever since then I had been meaning to just read it again and really just take my time going through the whole story, and now that I have my own copy, I'll be able to do that. The next book that I have is The Four Agreements, and this is by, who is this by? Don Miguel Ruiz, and I actually owned this book and I read it before. However, I lent the book out to someone and I never got it back. I was hoping to find another copy so that I could have one for my own, and this was there and I was so excited about it. And then this is the book that I picked up that I have not read before, and that is The Short and Tragic Life of Robert Peace. And I remember seeing this book on Book Outlet and just being really captivated by the synopsis. This book is about Robert, who was born and raised or grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and he has the opportunity to further his education at an Ivy League school, and then I believe he comes back and is then shot and killed. And this book goes into details about his life. I'm pretty sure it's going to touch on how his life and death has impacted his community and his family. And I was just very drawn to it. How do I put this? Like, I know the book is going to be difficult, but at the same time, I know that it's going to be something that I really need to read. And this was $2. Like, this book is in like legit perfect condition. $2. Anyways, so that's what I'm currently reading. Those are the books that I picked up. Right now, the total number of books on my TBR is 40. I'm hoping that by the end of the week, it'll get down to 39 if I finish The Handmaid's Tale. So that's what I have going on bookish wise. Let me know what you are currently reading. I hope that you guys are having a great Monday. Right now it's raining outside, so I'm most likely going to snuggle up and read some more. But I hope that you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!